Hello, everybody, and welcome to your favorite podcast, Left of Center, the political pottery show where we discuss everything a little ajar. I'm Riley, that's Kylie, and this is Smiley. What do you have for the people, Smiley?
One of these. For our audio listeners, I smiled because my name is Smiley.
Beautiful. Let's talk kilns, the place where the fires forge your dreams. And there's no place to forge a dream like the dream of making the top 1,000 on the ranked ladder of Once Upon a Galaxy. How's that been going, Veggie?
I made top 400.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yes. The number of games required for me to do so, very, very many, but that's fine. That actually works out great for me because I was gonna play that many anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a good time. It's a great way to procrastinate and not do all the editing that I need to do. It quiets the voices in my head, and I genuinely enjoy the game.
I haven't been playing nearly as much, but I did stream it the other day, and I went first. I'm still kind of in the, I think I might still be in the like baby pool because I went first place 3 for 3. It was great.
How does it feel to be bested in yet another competitive game?
No. I have like a total of 5 wins. Veggie has how many wins?
How many wins, Veggie?
I actually think I can't release that number because it's problematic.
Okay, so all jokes aside, today we're talking about inflation. We're talking about commander inflation specifically. One of my community members pulled together some of the numbers, and it is a little bit mind-boggling how many more commanders there are available today than there were just a few years ago. For reference, back in 2020, you had a little over 1,000 available commanders. We are almost at 3,000 today. We are verging on now about 25% of new cards that are printed every year can be your commander. Close to 30% of all cards that are eligible to be your commander are just from Universes Beyond. Because if you look at it as a percentage of sets, in Universes Beyond sets, it's almost a third of every card printed is a commander. And at Universes Within, the percentage is still mostly normal. But as we get more Universes Beyond and every single card has a proper noun in it and therefore gets legendary status, we now have hundreds and hundreds of new commanders every year. So let's just go around, good or bad, no nuance.
All right, it's going to be a short episode today. Yeah, good.
Interesting. Kylie?
I don't know how to do no nuance.
We'll get nuance later.
It's the simplest. You just say yes or no, and we turn the camera off.
Yes.
That's the wrong answer. I already said yes. We need you to say no.
We need a rage baiter.
Yeah.
And it falls to me.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time. Thanks again to Once Upon a Galaxy. This is really great because now I can go back to playing it.
I said yes because I didn't want either of you idiots to be out of a job.
I appreciate that. I'll say no. I'll bite the bullet and say no.
Wow, taking one for the team.
I'll be the rage baiter today. I think it's not that bad, but I do think it's a little bad. And I'm not going to defend the semantic hill for long, but it would be cool if legendary meant something.
Yep.
It would be cool if legendary was like, if the legendaries felt legendary, and some of them are just like, here's Paul.
Right. We need like a sub legendary, like elite or something.
Yes.
It's like this is a named character. However, it is not a legendary character.
And a designation for you can put this in your command zone. You're wrong to do it. You're wrong to do it. But if you loved them, like I'm thinking of from Avatar, the like super hot bounty hunter with the lizard. June. Yeah. Have you read that commander card? Don't do that. It's really bad. It's horrifically bad. But she should be an elite.
I know Z was really upset because that's Z's favorite character, and they really wanted to sleeve up a June deck.
Right. And they can, but oh my God. Like There's a concept I talk to people about a lot where you can put anything you want in the command zone, really, because no matter what, pretty much every color at this point in the game's development has enough stuff to make a 99 go, but it's oftentimes really, really underwhelming when you have a character that you love, and so you build a commander deck around them, and then the things that you do in the 99 to make the deck feel relevant make your commander feel irrelevant, because your commander cannot punch at the weight of like the +1/+1 counters mechanic if you're in green, or like whatever support you go for. I really like the idea of elite. We need elite so bad.
That is not totally a joke, because we're having this problem where, you know, Universes Beyond is here to stay, and they can't just make people not individual people.
Right.
Like, they have to represent these characters. And so there is like the floor for number of legendaries has increased. So if there was a way to represent these characters in a way that is satisfactory for it being an individual, but not being a legendary creature, that would be good.
I mean, I get why they're doing it though, right? They don't have any incentive to not make legendary creatures, because the more they churn out, the more people they're going to interest, right? Because so everybody wants to play something different, and we've played some pretty hot garbage commanders on Decked Out, and so like that's a whole thing. And so the more that they offer, the more people are going to want to brew new decks, because every single one of those, even if they're bad, is still going to scratch the itch for someone. They're going to sell more cards. They're going to, keep the industry going, so to speak.
Yeah, but I want them to feel shamed for liking what they like. So how can we get that need handled?
That is your whole TikTok, is making people feel shame for the choices that they are making.
I'll go film another video. Coming to a TikTok near you, June. Yeah, and that's why I say it's not that bad, because like it's not hurting anybody other than me when I see you sit down and be like, yes, here are two creatures of the same caliber, Fire Lord Azula and a pre-robbed Cabbage Man. There's Cabbage Merchant, and then there's pre-robbed Cabbage Merchant. There's two versions of him for no reason.
So you guys are taking this whole podcast topic in a totally different direction than I was thinking. You guys are talking a lot more about flavor fail and about commanders you should or should not put in the command zone. Whereas like, I don't think it matters for a couple of different reasons.
It's not Lightning Bolt.
Like I said, I think every single commander is exciting for someone. They're like, oh, this is a neat thing. Oh, this is a character I like. I don't care if it's bad. I mean, we just played the vanilla Patrick Star on our channel. Like, it doesn't matter how bad the card is, someone's playing it. And so I think the bigger issue is that there's zero downside to printing infinite legendaries, because the premium way to play Magic now is Commander, of which the legendary rule is pretty irrelevant. Well, there's like copy stuff. And in fact, I think Commander does some pretty busted stuff, and the legendary rule makes it almost more difficult and sort of makes the building space kind of reins it in a bit. So I think overall, with the premium way to play Magic being Commander, I think the legendaries are just good for getting people excited, good for the gameplay, making sure that people aren't copying all sorts of crazy things, giving them some sort of building and game restrictions is a healthy environment.
Counterpoint, anything that helps a Joda player should be viewed with the same level of cynicism as a second Patriot Act.
Rebuttal?
I don't have one.
Got him.
I can't go to toe to toe with Mald. I already know that.
Can't rage bait like me, baby.
I do have a counterpoint to this, that there's no downside. So there are mechanics that will always just continue to get better and better and better and better and more juiced by things slowly converging to all legendaries, because there are cards like Joda that reward you for playing legendaries, and if everything in the game is just legendary, then like what do you do about that? Or like historic, which cares about things being legendary, And those used to be restrictions on like, all right, well, I've got to find the things that match for this. And now it's, oh, I just play all of the best things and they happen to be legendary because that's how the game goes.
Yeah, I think that's true. I just think that those are more corner cases, like a couple of things, Commander, that can take advantage of that. But I don't think that outweighs the excitement and versatility that people are seeing when they're getting to put anything they want in the command zone. It's also opening up a really cool design space when we have board clears that can either kill legendaries or kill non-legendaries, right? Like you have more unique stuff that you can do with those two different character types that we wouldn't have had before.
I mean, to me, that is even more corner case, since that is like maybe 2 cards at the most versus 2 full archetypes.
But it's new, right? They're just starting to have that design space available to them because we have both of those things in more in abundance. So I'm not saying that they are exploring that as thoroughly as they should, but they could. And we've seen a couple of times where that is now the case. And maybe they'll print less things like Joda that are taking advantage and abusing something now that legendary creatures are more plentiful.
They have for sure gotten better at printing less busted dog shit. And before everybody comments Vivi, that's the worst one in a while. And everybody looked at it and was like, Ral's better. Quite frankly, like,
I mean, okay, the only people that did that were like some of the CEDH players.
They massacred my boy. And they've made it so I can't touch my mouse anymore. I literally changed to Pioneer so I could continue touching my mouse. And then they took him away again.
Because he's a bitch. He's a bitch who does crime. But
I'm going to kick you.
You'll try.
Also, they probably only banned it because they're coming out with it but legendary in the next set. So you'll be able to put it in the command zone now.
I'm struggling to find the exact words to articulate the sentiment, but I do think there is a non-zero cost in the hearts and minds of the people when that excitement of I can put anything I want in the command zone is let down by the fact that not really you can't actually, unless you have a dedicated play group that is pretty good at managing power levels
and exploring together.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing that, great. But especially because all of this legendary bloat feels like it is meant to appeal to new players. I'm just trying to imagine the sorry son of a bitch who's like, here's my June commander deck. What are you playing? Oh, Hearthhull. Awesome.
I agree with you that it also, it hurts with like random pickup games, especially for new players and at the game store. Now, I'm actually on your guys' side when it comes to the health of the format and having, I just think we have too many cards, period. We touched, briefly on commander or product fatigue. And I think that this is just another part of that. Mm-hmm. This is a commander fatigue. Mm-hmm. And I'm also feeling it. I can't keep up. There's way too many. The stats you were reading off in the beginning about like, 40% of commanders were all printed in the last like year and a half or whatever.
Yeah,
like the massive.
It's I think 17% of available commanders have come out, and this is counting avatars having come out. 17% of available commanders have come out in the last 4 months.
That's wild.
I think it goes up to around 30% in the last year, and it goes up to like half of all available commanders being printed in the last 2 to 3 years or something. Like it's just insane how many.
I'm on board with you guys. I think that's way too much. I think the product fatigue is way too much. And I have trouble keeping up with all of it. But from a Wizards perspective, from a selling cards perspective, I don't think that anyone can argue that they're selling more cards than ever. Like this is clearly working. It's clearly getting people excited. People are excited to play June. It doesn't matter how butts it is. And some, if you want to print legendaries to that scale, some of them have to be butts. They can't all be bangers. And how sad would June, like how sad would Z be if June wasn't in, right?
Okay, but let's take it from a different angle of, all right, so June has to exist. Somebody has to be at uncommon. Did we need 8 Kataras?
That's a whole nother.
We gotta represent the journey. Sure, we can't have just one Katara that encompasses everything. And I don't know if we got 8, so I'm gonna check on. I think
it's actually like 6. So it's.
I actually actively hate multiple printings of the same character in a same set. That is something that Lorcana started doing first, and then Magic picked up shortly thereafter, and I've hated it in both. So I'm on board with you there. I think we could have less Kataras and juice some of the other characters, and then print some more non-legendary or just.
Yeah, so maybe this comes back to what a lot of the people who dislike power creep, who dislike Universes Beyond, who dislike additional sets being printed are talking about. It's less that we have more of this one thing and more of what are we losing? What is the expense of having more of this one thing? Because we do have 6 just Kataras, and then we have an Angan Katara card as well. And I'm here to tell you right now, all but 2 of these are dog water. All but 2 of these are terrible, no good.
Well, then that kind of counters your argument, though, because you were saying that like we could have made June good because we ended up with 6 Kataras, but.
Well, I'm not saying more powerful. I'm saying we could have gotten something more interesting than Katara again, especially if it's not going to be like present an interesting play. When I talk about good, I'm almost never talking about effective.
Okay.
So because when I say good, I think you hear, is this playable in a game of Magic? And when I'm talking about good, I mean, does this create an experience that would be neat? I think this creates an experience that is only neat for the novelty value of getting to lay down Katara and pause. For the novelty value of getting to play with your favorite character. And I think that actually fades really quickly if the cards don't support neat play patterns. And I think many of these just don't.
I mean, I agree, but if your original argument is that June could replace one of the dog water Kataras, like that is still in the dog water design space. Like only so many of them can be bangers, and most have to be butts. And so
but
you're
that's
still.
not my original argument. Is not that June should replace. It's that we don't. The argument for this is just it's sad that June's dog water. Separately, we definitely don't need 7 Kataras.
Yeah. So we get rid of the Kataras and replace them with what?
Non-legendary stuff, like non-legendary, non-commander card, like, or not even, they can still be designed for commanders, for commander gameplay, but just things that don't go in the command zone.
Yeah, I'm on board for it, but again, I think selling cards is good. I thought the argument was June didn't have to be bad because we have 6 Kataras or whatever. Like that would have been a part of the solution to June not needing to be bad, but I definitely misunderstood.
We're saying that there's no downside for Wizards to print more legendaries because that's more inspiring for players, and everybody's going to want one of these. But is there not a downside of, I really love Katara and I'd love to learn how to play this Magic the Gathering game. Oh my God, there are 12 of them. I came here for this. Now I have to pick one that I like. And I went with this one, and this one is one of the bad ones, and now this is a bad experience for me. Or I'm coming in because I like June, the character, and because this one is bad, now I have a bad experience. Does that maybe lean into like the greater sentiment that people are having, that Wizards are just saying, hey, we'll cash in on players liking this IP, but not give them something that is like going to keep them long term? Because if it was just like one good Katara and people are like, yeah, that's my favorite character, I'm going to come in, they have a good time because the card is good and interesting, and they stick around to play more Magic.
I think that's definitely true, but I do not think it's feasible to assume that they will include every character because everybody wants something different, and they will make them all bangers. That just seems very unrealistic. I agree that we don't need 6 Kataras, but that, as we talked about before, doesn't necessarily make June good if that's, if they get rid of that and replace them with less commanders.
Yeah, I feel like it is a balance they're never going to strike perfectly. And on their end, I feel like that contributes to greater churn, which I think Wizards and actually Hasbro has very strongly dedicated to. We don't give a shit about churn.
Yeah.
We care about new customers spending money on the game, and there is a negative to having somebody come in the door and immediately be bounced out. But if the marketing research tells corporate that new person probably wouldn't have come in the door without the 8th Katara, they will go, acceptable losses, give me 10 more Kataras.
Yeah, I think it's sort of it's not quite, but monetizing D&D has always been very hard because you have one DM that buys one book every 2 months. So now you have all these Commander players who've been playing for 3-4 years, and the ones that really love the game and really want to stay, we have our Commander decks, right? Like it really takes something unique, something spicy to make I need to build this new deck. Whereas new players, they come in because of June or the 8th Katara, and they build their deck, they have a bad experience, but that's fine, they leave. But that was money Wizards would have never gotten before either, like if they just didn't make those things. And they're no longer capitalizing on us to the same extent that they were before. We have all of our Soul Rings, we have all of our Arcane Signets, we have 4, 5, 6 Commander decks. The bar for us to make a 7th or 8th one is much, much higher than a new player.
I got to direct you to some people in my Twitch chat because those.
I was my instinct was also to be like,
I've seen some people carrying around suitcases at conventions.
But also, they don't need to buy all that much stuff to make those decks, right? They have all the shocks, they have all the fetches. And I would imagine, certainly there's people who are going to build every deck, every card, like Veggie, right? Like that's just, those people exist. But on average, I think how many people have the same 5, 6 decks or 3 decks with a rotating deck or 2, that's more the bracket I fall into. Whereas a new player, it's all profit. They need everything. There are many sets where I would make 0 of those commanders. And I have no need to, but a new player has nothing, so they must build something.
Well, when you're right, you're right. Capitalism's awesome. That's been a little to the left.
I think that's hard to make that call because we neither of us, none of us here is close to the average Commander player, I don't think, because I think they're much more inclined to have some FOMO that you NerdGirl would not have. I think there's much more draw for them to want to build new things, and you are very satisfied to be like, cool, I have this, I know the cards in it make me happy. I do not need to look at any other card ever again. Even if this gets totally outclassed, super power crept, I'll keep playing this. I am fine with that.
It's a good shirt.
Right.
Why do I need to go shirt shopping? I have good shirt.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get another one of that shirt.
But I can get a second copy of that.
I do that sometimes with shoes. I hate shoe shopping. So when I find one I like, I just buy an extra pair and put it under my bed for a year and a half.
See?
Yeah, and there are people who need to get the Katara ones. They need to get the Katara ones with the black trim.
And that's why there's 8 Kataras. That's my point. Right?
I'm just staring. I have June pulled up on my phone, and I'm just staring at how bad this card is.
But people are still going to play it. Z will probably still play it. I'll probably still play it because I am the Avatar is the exception for everything I'm saying about my personal play style because I plan to build every single thing. I need multiple copies of every single card in the set. I'm very excited. I'm going to try to get Z to cosplay June to my May.
Yep. I'm back in.
Elaborate.
Nope. So then I get... A thing that I've been thinking about in the background without any satisfactory conclusion is because I also used to, even though we're getting more and more commanders every set, I theory build fewer and fewer commanders every set now because now it feels like so much that the idea of opening that jar is just too much. Like there's like one that will really catch my eye every set and I'll be like, okay, I'll figure something out for that. And like for this set, it was Fire Lord Azula. That one I was like immediately very silly, very messed up. Something could really happen there. And the thought of doing it for any other commander is just like exhausting.
You're literally describing what I just said. That the players who've been around the longest are building less decks because it takes something really spicy to get their attention.
Right, but I don't think Veggie and I are arguing that the corporation doesn't have sufficient motivation and reinforcement to continue doing this behavior. We're just arguing that it's sad that they have sufficient reinforcement to continue doing this behavior.
And I agree with that.
Yeah. And so I just want to, I wish there was I wish Wizards would like, I think again, that elite thing, because the other thing it could help with is I would love for them to be like, I know we have the bracket system, but I would love if we could sort of get an early warning label like cigarettes have to be like, hey, we made this in the command zone. It is going to be like way worse than a precon. Like, I think that's what, because those are the worst experiences I hear about when it comes from new commander players. These are the people who are coming to me from a very genuine place about thinking the bracket system is messed up, about thinking certain very normal cards are overpowered, about thinking somebody sharked them at their LGS when it was somebody playing like an out-of-the-box precon. It's all people who were like, yeah, I built my own deck because I heard that's how you're supposed to play Commander, and I built it around, and then they will tell me the name of a dog shit legendary. And they were like, yeah, I ran this into Hawkfall. I'm pretty sure Murhoke cheated the game. And I do wish that we were getting some type of label or messaging for Wizards about like, hey guys, we just want you to know if you see a monocolor legendary from here on out, that's going to be garbage.
So I guess what you guys would like would be some sort of internal in the game system to designate power level of commanders. So you have legendary and then you have epic. Epic is almost a separate format of commander where everybody is slamming epic commanders against each other. Those commanders are epic, not legendary.
I'd even want it a step farther where this epic idea is just a designation to recognize, oh, this is a named character in the universe. This cannot be played as your commander. Like, this does not, the legendary rule does not apply to this card. We recognize that, June is an individual in this universe, but we are not going to make this a legendary applied character.
So you just want less legendaries across the board.
Right, which they will never do because they are incentivized to do the opposite, for the 5, 10, however many people in the world will spend money on the parts for a June commander deck that otherwise would not have.
And your main reasonings for wanting this are to prevent weaker players who cannot recognize that they are bad from making those decks, and to help with some gameplay with cards like Joda. Are those the two general arguments that I'm getting from you guys?
The Joda thing's rage bait. You can definitely leave aside the Joda argument on my part.
Or like gameplay copy, because if every creature's legendary, every copy card goes in the trash, right? Like, there are consequences to having everything being legendary, and I do recognize that.
The third that we have not really touched on is it helps with the other formats that I think exist in the game. Because
like draft?
Yeah, like draft. Because Spider-Man has had common legendaries.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That sucks.
I mean, my only counterpoint to that is those uncommon legendaries were very good. And if anyone had 2 of them, I would cry. So I'm glad that those could not have 2 on the board. But
I specified common legendaries. There were common legendaries that were important pieces for those archetypes.
Yeah.
And it felt miserable every time that it was like.
Yeah, during pre-release, I definitely cast like a 2/3 when it taps looter. It was just a common spider, and someone's like, I played it, and they were like, you have to sack one. I was just like, oh shit.
Right.
I was like, well,
yeah,
it's a good thing you're bad. I'm going to win anyway. But here we are.
Yeah. So it helps to correct that issue, both for like limited, why do I have common legendaries, and for constructed, where it's like, oh, I'd really like to play this. I'd like to be able to play 4 of this rare, but I have to get around the commander issue that my deck doesn't function quite right because I can't play multiple copies of this, or sometimes it's dead.
Yeah, I guess so. That was something I hadn't considered at all, was cards that are very relevant in limited and relevant in like 60 card standard modern, because most of the dog water Junes that are being made are not designed for any other format. Right. They're going to see very, very little play, or they're uncommons or rares or whatever. So that wasn't something that really had clicked with me, and it wasn't bothering me. But you're right. Spider-Man is a really good example of common legendaries, which did make the gameplay, I think, substantially worse.
And I do think they fixed that for Avatar, because we have a ton of legendaries kicking around, but the set is both bigger, and I don't think we have common legendaries kicking around. I think we only have uncommons, rares, mythics, and to some degree, the rarity of a card can help inform how strong it's supposed to be, but I think there are so many glaring exceptions to that rule that I don't even want to call it a rule.
Yeah, I mean, this may be too much of the nitty gritty on like limited stuff, but when legendaries used to show up at lower rarities, they were more powerful than your average like uncommon, and the legendary was a restriction. I don't want that to be every uncommon in a limited set. I don't want every single one to be significantly better than other cards, with legendary being the restriction. I also don't want those to be normal power level and still have the legendary restriction. Personally, it is significantly less fun for me if I see 2 like signpost uncommons. I'm like, hell yeah, I get to build around this. It's legendary. So some games I'm going to be really sad that I got the 2 cool cards that would have been such a good time in my game. I'm only playing one of them. The other one is a dead card.
Yeah, I think when they are very, very good, I'm fine with them being legendary. Like you said, the ones that are a cut above 10, 20% of the uncommons at most. But you're right. It is just all of them now.
And circling back to what you laid out as the first point of dissatisfaction, this like new player feels bad. I kind of wonder if that's our like Spider-Man watching Uncle Ben die canon moment, because it's another thing that from a corporate perspective, they are incentivized to do and rewarded to do, because if you have a player that commits enough to start playing Magic and they build a June deck and it goes terribly, maybe they walk away from the game. You've gotten non-zero dollars out of them. But if they don't walk away from the game, what do? They buy a better commander and they build a second deck to not get the crap kicked out of them. And so it's just this like never-ending feedback loop of Hasbro getting rewarded for doing this.
Yeah, I have to say, I think that is very much the case. I think they are being rewarded for it. I am very privileged in that I have a bunch of friends who will play garbage with me. So like, I'm super happy to shuffle up June with my friends who will also build accordingly. And the fact that we have a commander show where I can just be like, I want to play a bunch of bad Avatar cards.
Right. Let's make sure that this is balanced.
And then we all do that. That's great. And so looking at it from the perspective of like the average game store where so-and-so is taking their first commander deck and sitting down with a pot of nonsense. That's going to be a real rough time. And I do feel for those players.
Maybe this is the better, because I was wondering, why do I care? Because typically I don't care about other people at all. You know this.
Yeah. And you message me that every morning.
Right.
That's like good morning, baby from Maldhound is like, I don't care about you.
Have a whatever day. It does not impact me in any way at all. But it's this feeling of Commander's bigger than ever. There's more cards available than ever. There's more events available than ever. I don't think I've ever been less excited or more apprehensive about the idea of playing Commander with somebody I don't already know. In part because of this, because even the bracket system has been tremendously helpful. And even within the bracket system, it now feels like there are so many more. It feels like the ability to clock a deck based on the commander they present is getting so terribly hard. And the ability of people to articulate what's the intent or what's going on in their deck has not yet caught up. And so maybe it will catch up as we get more used to the bracket system. But I feel like there's this growing thing of, if I see your June deck, I'm not sure how to react, because I go, all right, Commander's garbage. Maybe you're a new player. I'm going to pull out something real soft.
You're pre-con.
We can all play garbage together.
And they have 15 game changers. Gotcha.
Right. Or it's like, well, this is my June deck. And they're like, I'm a new player, but I did accurately assess June's not very strong.
Yeah,
so
I propped it up with a bowl of Citadel.
So I put some good card draw in it, and they put Necropotence on the field. Yeah. And then I'm like, and And I think that is an overcomable problem, but it is a growing problem in my eyes that the legendary bloat is causing the variance of the command zone to be larger than it's ever been before, and larger for reasons that are not necessarily healthy or not necessarily easy to identify unless the pilot of the deck can articulate what their deck's going to do really well.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I am very smart, yes.
I have a thought on this that is it's like super, super hopeful. So it's wrong. I have always felt that Commander should be approached as D&D and not really as some sort of like competitive sort of thing outside of CEDH. Like really, because the variance is so high, both in a 100 card singleton deck and the number of commanders that exist and the ways that people play and their understanding of the game, there's a massive range of what can happen in a game. And then approaching it more like I'm playing June, and so the stuff in my deck, you know, leans into this character. I'm playing this character, and hey, maybe they only win the game like 10% of the time, but I am here for that experience, not necessarily I am always trying to win, and winning is important, and if my character can't win consistently, then this is not a good time. We're just four people socializing and like telling a story together. This does kind of help to support that. If you have all of these different characters that you have that you can play as, and some of them are terrible, but you get that experience of like, I'm the vulture, and people are like, who is that? and you're like, I'm gonna show you how many things I can make flying or something. I think that's what that card does. And it's okay for decks to be bad. And then as people play, they recognize, oh, okay, these are some decks that go better together. And maybe this starts moving people towards winning the game, not being so pivotal and having a good time, which I think is just a plus for Commander overall. And that's a lot of things that are incorrect, but
I think it's really difficult to get there because I like your utopia. And I think your utopia does exist alongside NerdGirl's utopia when everybody make your own Commander gameplay show, and then you can set the rules for how good the decks are, and you can all play garbage together.
Right.
So I think that works really well for people who already know each other and have their like similar sense of what's the vibe they want to go for. But I think a problem Commander's always going to have with reaching true D&D vibes is there still has to be at minimum like play fighting.
Right.
Winning can't be the most important thing. We know it's not a fair game by design, but we have to at least have the premise of the contest for there to be the dramatic tension that leads to the funny moments or the interesting moments.
Right.
Like in the context of shonen, where the anime battle is always just a pretext for the character, for it to be a battle of ideas. But if they ever were just like, let's not punch each other, or let's not yell Bankai, let's just talk about what we believe in and then decide who's right, it would become unwatchable so quickly. And I think Commander's always going to have that problem of the D&D part is the really satisfying part. But if you ever like just fully give up on the winning part, the air goes out of the room really fast.
I don't necessarily think that you are giving up on winning, because I actually live in the same utopia as Veggie. My enjoyment of a Commander game is completely separate from whether I won it, assuming I enjoy the people. And that's because I view Commander like a board game. And we all play together. We almost help like new players with their turns. Most of the time I play with my hands open in board games because I don't care. And I don't care how many games of Wingspan I lose. I had a fantastic time every time. So if I'm enjoying the three other people at the Commander table, I get the exact same vibe. Yes, I still try to win, but when I don't, it doesn't change my feeling, which is not true for 1v1 formats. And I think that Magic muddies the water where you have people with the 1v1 mindset and not the board game mindset.
I think that's true, because I think the most important part of the part of your statement that I'm hanging on is when I enjoy the three other people.
Yeah,
which brings it back to my like.
It's a separate argument
Right,
that I don't enjoy playing board games with people I don't enjoy either.
Right.
But I can lose 10 games of Wingspan and still have a great time. I still want to shuffle up and play more Wingspan. And I think the same for me is true with Commander. And I'm always trying to win in both cases. I just don't care if I do, which again is not true for.
Well, I think it almost presents.
Veggie's laughing at me.
I'm laughing because you have, I'm with you on that. Support that viewpoint and have the opposite for both things. Where I'm like, oh, I'm playing a board game. Cool. The fun that I have in this is I would like to break this thing.
I don't do that.
I would like to ruin this board game I would like to break it down to its essential pieces and then like just tear it apart fundamentally. And I would like everybody else that's playing it with me to do that as well. I would like everybody to CEDH this, because that is like what a ridiculous thing. We've Rubik's cubed or cup stacked the board game. That is when I have the most fun with a board game. And then as far as competitive 1v1 Magic, that was your job for a while. So it was important for you to just be like, yes, I need to win. You need to lose. I am not concerned at all with how much fun you are having, period. You are another, you are a step on the ladder. I will put my foot on your face on my way up to a prize.
Magic and poker, I don't care how much fun either of us are having. Winning is the goal. If you are not winning, then you failed at your job. Right. Whereas in Commander, the goal is to have fun. Yeah. And I feel that way about board games.
Yeah. To me, the even competitive Magic, unless that is my job, I still want the other person to have a good time. I just want to beat them while I do it. While we enjoy this game together.
And you fight me on League of Legends, you're gonna love it.
Even just any competitive Magic, yes, I've done. Plenty of it. But even if you take it down to like a pre-release, anytime there's like prize packs on the line, like to me, that's my job. Like my goal is to get these packs. So even at a pre-release, if I'm losing, I am not having a good time, right? Like it is a totally different mindset, even when you take it down as low as pre-release, not playing for big stakes in poker or Pro Tour or anything like that. It is a very different mindset from top to bottom. I'm more crazy. Like I want to do my best. I want to break this thing down, and I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it to crush people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with you all about the point of Commander being fun. Let me posit this then. Magic, having fun in Magic is a prisoner's dilemma, because it only takes one person who wants to shark the game to generally ruin the experience. You can still do your best, and if they're being really rude, you can ask that person to leave. But if you have a table of 4 and one person is totally off vibe, that can fuck up the vibe pretty bad.
Yeah.
A secondary issue that is unique to Magic, because the same's true, that's also true for many board games, where if you're playing like 4-person Catan and one person is just like crazy sweaty, it can bring the vibes off. In Magic's the board game where you're bringing your own pieces, and the pieces you bring to some degree predefine how sweaty you are. Like I can tell you in the pregame, hey, we're not gonna take it that heavy, and then the Necropotence in your hand has to be a blank card for the rest of the game. And so Magic has this unique difficulty of we're playing it for fun,
and one person starts with cities instead of towns or whatever, and settlers like. They start with a huge advantage, and
there is no degree of talking about let's play for fun that can undo that. Versus like in a board game, you can be like, hey, chill out a little bit, huh? And you can say that in Magic. Then it's like, well, the cards in my hand still do the things they did before you told me to chill out, and I'm not gonna not cast them. And that is what. And to your earlier thing about Wizards designating Epic, I really don't relish the idea of giving Wizards even more direct control over the format. And so it's not really not a thing I want them to be in charge of. But that is the feels bad, the ultimate feels bad that I'm worried about, is like you're showing up to a board game with pieces that make it impossible for you to match the vibe correctly. And the only answer to that is spend all of your grocery money on cardboard. That's horrifically depressing. And I think that's the core. I think that's the like core of the upset I feel around the legend bloat. Legendflation.
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
Legend gate is what I'll call it.
Yeah, it's I mean, like, certainly that's a fundamental issue where we are trying to have social fun in a game that has to be driven by hitting each other.
Yeah, I think a lot of Magic players, even if Commander's their only thing, it attracts players who have that 1v1 mindset that I described, where they're only having fun if they're crushing people or doing their thing, whatever the case may be. And I will say, when it comes to Commander specifically, I have a very innocent view of it, because I have not been out in the wild and in the weeds playing these awful matchups. I always have, no matter where I'm playing. It's usually here on the show or, at MagicCons with one or two of you guys, with one person that you guys know. So it's like very, I'm not just out there with a deck being like, who will play with me? Like randomly. And so I'm not exposed to those bad matchups.
Yeah, I've been in the trenches. I've been like my worst experiences, and I don't say worst in terms of offended me. I mean, in terms of like, this is going to sound crazy. If you play a Commander game with me, I try to do my best to like steward the game to all four people having a good time. Like whatever role I need to be. If I need to be the heel, I'll be the heel. If I'm like the guy that gets set up early to get knocked over, or whatever, if I need to help deal with the problem, anything. The worst experiences was I would do community games on stream, and I hosted a casual Commander tournament in my Discord, and I also hosted a two-headed giant tournament in my Discord that was meant to be, one was meant to be for fun. One had prize support, so that one I'll mentally discount because it's like money was on the line, everything went out the table. But like, it was constantly, every single time somebody brought something they thought was fun, but because their definition of fun was I'm going to break this interaction, and somebody else's definition was fun was I'm going to RP June the detective. It was just like, and we had pregame conversations. We didn't have the bracket system. I think the bracket system would have helped out a lot, but I would force these people to talk at length about what do you intend to do? How powerful do you think the thing is? Do you have combos? Do you have fast mana? Do you have tutor? Da. And there was just this nonstop conveyor belt of expectation mismatches that people could never quite communicate around effectively. And it always ended with somebody feeling cheated, somebody feeling like whatever deck had popped off had like done something naughty when they had just played the cards they thought were cool. And these are the memories that just flood my brain when I see June. I'm like, no, I'm pounding on the glass. No.
So I actually still had a pretty good time, but one of my very first Commander games was on game nights. Like my second game, I think. And they told me, don't bring anything too crazy, bring like a 7, and keep it pretty reasonable. Cool. One person played Golos, decked out. The other one played Mindslaver Lock and just killed someone. And I had a Kaikar Mystic Remora or Mystic Murmuring Mystic making 1/1 birds. Like, it was just real bad. And so
you were like, 7. That's like the cards that I just drafted, right?
They actively told me, do not bring anything crazy. And I feel like Mindslaver locking someone out of the game permanently is crazy.
Mindslaver
right?
is 6 mana. That's a terrible card.
And the other one was Golos before it was banned.
Right.
And so that person had all the decked out duels, the whole all up to the teeth. And
and that's where the name comes from.
What? Decked out? Yeah. The show has different meanings. That's why we picked it. But so I definitely get what you're saying about very, very experienced Magic players that have a show that want people to bring and are very incentivized to have a good game. Still, what I think could not communicate what we should be doing particularly well.
Well, it's because all the fun words to use to describe your deck are subjective words. And everybody has different internal definitions. Because my version of that was we played a format called Tiny Leaders, where everything had to be, like your commander had to be CMC 3 or less, and all your creatures had to be real small too. And everyone was like, oh, that's so cute. It's going to be so fun. And the person who pitched it, did mono green Omnath. And they didn't like go infinite. They just played mana, like a bunch of mana dorks, and they played Omnath and made a bunch of green mana and had like an 11/11 commander and gave him trample and killed people. And somebody else
did light
had
pause.
some like idiot dwarves deck that just didn't have a second to breathe the whole game, and somebody else had feather. And so yeah, and I think those types of communications issues are helped a lot by the bracket system, but are also made much, much worse by the amount of product that comes out and by legend bloat specifically. Even if we didn't,
that's what we're talking about.
We're talking about inflation.
Inflation doesn't exist. We have no inflation.
Not in Bossing Say. Anyway, this is actually a deck tech about Walls of Bossing Say, my newest and favoritist commander deck.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You can Momo's Heist that card.
What the fuck is Momo's Heist? Hold on. Don't you tell me.
Flavor-wise, Momo can steal the entire Walls of Bossing Say and then just
He can
throw it in
stick
the trash.
He can not only stick it straight up his butt, he can't do it in a Momo commander deck.
Right.
The color identity is not allowed. You can play Momo as your commander, and you cannot cast Momo's Heist because they hate me specifically.
Yes.
That's mean. That's a flavor fail. I feel like you should put the Momo cards in the thing that you could play.
Yeah. It could never have this effect. But
They actually, I think Wizards of the Coast snuck this to the printers after they heard everybody get mad about hybrid mana. They made a card called Swamp Benders that's a mono green card that makes everything swamps in addition to their other types. That's so funny. That's so funny. Everybody was like, color identity means something. They were just like, yeah, say it again. Say it again. Say it louder. We're gonna have a blue card make everything mountains, idiot. Oh, it made me so happy to see this card. It's a mono green card that has its power and toughness defined by swamps on the battlefield.
The real question is it legendary?
No.
Well, then today's topic is useless. See? They made a non-legendary for you.
Just for me.
It's especially disappointing. That card will be cool as hell as a legendary. I'd make that commander deck.
Stop arguing for legend bloat, Veggie.
Like, that's the kind of effect I want a super unique effect to be a legendary creature, and then other things that are not super unique, it's fine if it represents a character from the show and is not legendary.
But you could give other creatures you control vigilance. That's Aang, by the way. That's a whole Aang card.
Is that the uncommon one?
No, that's a rare. Oh. That's a yeah. Oh, that's a 5 mana rare, baby. Uncommon Aang.
You like
has
airbends
vigilant. No, even worse. Sorry, that's one of the
he just
other.
airbends, I think.
No, that's one of the other uncommon Aang. There's another uncommon Aang hitting this tower. He has vigilance if you have a lesson in your graveyard. And when something else you control dies, he gets a counter in Selesnya. And then there's an uncommon Aang that just airbends something on ETB, which like that one's fine, sure. That's like Aang in his growth phase. I could yeah, I'm not saying there has to be a hard limit. I do think it is straight up realistic for flavor for there to be multiple versions of the like main characters of a series.
Is there a rule that says they all have to be legendary? Why can't the common and uncommon ones just not be legendary?
Right, like
yeah.
And then
different designation,
Aang,
like elite
idiot.
or like epic or something.
Aang, idiot child. You can have four.
He doesn't even need that. He could just, especially if we're not saying that they can be played in the command zone at a different level, they could just be not.
Yeah.
I don't know why everything with a name needs to be legendary.
Because we gotta sell it.
Yeah.
We gotta sell it.
Or represent it in a different way. So it's like, oh, clearly the art is Aang doing a thing, but the creature name is like, Curious Airbender.
Something's like Momo's Heist,
yeah.
right? Where it has Momo on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 6 Angs too.
Penguin sledding expert.
Right. It's like just the title instead of a named character. And it's like, okay, obviously this is Aang, but
Wow, 5 tops. Wow.
only 5?
But are all and are all of these main set, or are you also looking up like the commander and the other stuff?
I mean, this is across all of it.
I just typed is commander, and then the name of the thing. I was like 6 Sokkas. There is a legendary Sokka that is a 3/3 with vigilance. You can't.
Hey, but he draws a card.
No, he doesn't. You are thinking of the other 3-mana Sokka. There
other 3-mana uncommon Sokka.
There are 2 3-mana uncommon Sokkas, one of whom is a 3/3 with vigilance and flavor text.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's so funny.
And if they're unlimited, that does suck. Like
Right.
it's just
That's just a guy.
a curve filling idiot I'd rather not have in my deck, and
Right.
I can't have 2 of them, and it's all of them, so it's just really rough. Yeah, it does hurt limited for sure.
Yeah.
I approached this. We need to have better pre-podcast discussions, because I approached this from a way different direction that you two
We
did.
wanted to keep, well, listen, we got the idea, and it's a very real thing to keep the heat in the bag, because there's some stuff you genuinely do want to get the like actual off the top live reaction to it. And so sometimes you get an idea, and much like a Commander game in your pregame discussion, you're like, I'm pretty sure I know where we're going with this. And you just
Nope.
gotta let it be wild.
Yeah.
So you can disagree with Nerd Girl all episode.
That's right. We're here dropping necropotences, and she's like, I got another version of Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Lightning Felix, a legendary creature coming out in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a red and a white.
Oh
it
my
has
God.
flash. It deals 3 on ETB,
No,
and
it's-
you gain 3 life.
It's the Felix the Cat universe beyond.
Oh my God. What is Felix the Cat? Why do you know that?
Oh, right. I am old, you are young. Yes.
Yeah, Malda's baby.
No, I grew up on a farm until I was 8. So I just don't know a lot of like,
Right.
I just don't know a lot.
And so it's been a long like 4 years since then.
Oh, this little freak. Yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little freak, man. He couldn't be Lightning Helix. He's Orzhov because his aesthetic is black and white.
Oh, right. And that is how. Don't get me started on that.
That is how.
Don't get me
that's how
started on.
colors are
The
determined.
Green Goblin. He's not green. Wow. What is Wizards doing? Nobody. The design team knows how to do their job because the Green Goblin's not green.
Dude, show me mono black Ratatouille right now. Show me the mono black Ratatouille card right now. Give him a Mindslaver lock. That would be
Oh my
thematic.
God.
Mono black Ratatouille, sacrifice him, control somebody's turn.
No, target opponent becomes a vehicle, which you can crew.
All right, so there's
Okay, right.
a lot of commanders, and you guys would both like them to go down. At what point is it 2 down to where you both lose your jobs? Because you guys talk about commanders like all the time.
Oh, yeah. Maul loses his job immediately.
Whoa, whoa.
I just talk about cards, and since all of them are legendary now, I just happen to be talking about commanders.
I see.
Here's the real scoop on that. When I started doing this, and I was like a month in, I had a brief worry that I would eventually run out of commanders. They were printing too many for me to ever finish back in 2020. And since then, the rate of new commander printings has more than doubled. I think it's nearing tripled. So they could cut it to a third before we are back to equilibrium of I have a job permanently.
Yeah, and you can't ever run out of cards. And honestly, too, you could always go back and do some of them again in a different light
I
years
have
later.
already done that for cards where I like straight up, if you watch anything I've published more than a year and a half ago, I'm sorry. It's not as good.
Well, that and like as new cards are printed.
Oh yeah.
You might like something might have been very bad and had no support, but you're like, oh, this is
Right.
actually something we can talk about now.
This is built different. And I've talked about the only reason I don't talk about non-commanders on my channel is because I have too many commanders and too many people have been patiently waiting for their commander for so long. Like if I ran out of commanders being asked for, I already talked about fishing gear. What's up? What's up? I'm gonna noodle you. All right. I'm gonna come get mine.
What are we talking about at this point?
Fishing gear.
We're talking about Commander Bloat.
And it's in the Final
that's
Fantasy
what we're talking
Holiday
about.
Bundle, which has a bunch of mechanically unique cards and 8 hot new commanders. But yeah, like
We do need to get those, by the way. The cards are very cool.
They're actually very sick, unfortunately.
I don't know if we're going to be able to find them.
Yeah.
Like having very unique cards and something that's like so rare and such a rare printing. Like they have a Final Fantasy 9 picture thingy. And like, I don't know that I'll be able to get one. It makes me nervous.
Here's a better way to frame it. Let me flip it on you. It should mean something that I would rather risk my job security than see an 8th motherfucking Katara. All right? Grumpy old man tech. But yeah, I would just start talking about non-commander cards.
I don't think we should have that many Kataras. I think there should be 2. One in the main set, one in Commander, maybe.
I think we need the mono blue Katara because that one's cool.
I'm cool with like main Katara and then like Katara and Aang and then one in the Commander decks or one in the the Commander product or you know.
I think the team up cards you could grandfather in.
Yeah. So 3.
3. That's the hard. Everything over 3, you're killing commander.
I don't like it when they do the Lorcana thing where there's like a character at every level, sometimes 2. Like it's just unnecessary. You're right. There's so many more characters that we could feature, make more room and make room for just more like in-universe stuff like the fire bending students, you know, things like that. I feel like you don't need to have every single creature in the set be a named character.
Yeah, like any of my hot dog carts, you know. I mean, my bagels and schmear that really give flavor to the setting. All right, we're doing a boy question?
Yeah.
Why is Hammy such a pretty boy?
He's the handsomest.
Hashtag boy question. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Wow, they both Don't be rude.
Don't be jelly.
Don't be rude. Boy question. If you could only play with 3 colors for the rest of your life, which ones would...
Hammy.
I think it's what would they be. But yeah.
One more time.
Boy question. If you could only play with 3 colors for the rest of your life, which 3 would they be? Brian Limoges, 2946.
Yeah, so you have to never play 2 colors ever again, is the premise. Which 3 colors would you choose? Mine's easy. I know which colors I can't give up and which color pairs I love to play the most and what the color combos are.
Yeah. I'll send it yours.
What is it? What's the 3 colors?
It's Abzan.
Nope. Mardu, baby. I can't get rid of Orzhov. I can't get rid of Boros.
This one's tough for me because I'm killing white in an instant. I just don't play white cards ever. Like, I don't play white cards. I misquote white effects more often than I fuck up tutors, like that one 4 mana thing where I got everything wrong about what you could fetch with it. Savage Summoning or something like Natural Order.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't. Who knows?
I can't keep track of all the cards that you get totally wrong.
There's a lot of them.
But yeah, so like white, instantly I'll give that up. But amongst the other 4, it's so tough.
Yeah, I mean, well, here while you think, mine is also pretty easy. I'm Grixis. I'll enjoy a Jeskai here and there. But usually it's just I would like to do blue and red things, and I would like to prevent you from interacting with them. But definitely I'm like, yeah, mono red, great time. Is it great time? Rakdos, great time. Grixis, sometimes. If I want to win the game, but and Dimir if I need to get sweaty. Great, that covers everything.
Yeah, I think I approached it similarly where it was like my favorite 2 color pairings. So Boros, Orzhov, and Rakdos. So I was just like, Mardu, easy. I am an Abzan girly for sure, but like I could live without it. I do not enjoy Izzet or Simic as much or at all. I enjoy a Spellslinger deck, but
It should be easy Grixis for me too, but I love Jund so much as a singular 3-color combination. But if I go into like the
two colors,
the 2 colors within there, I miss blue too much. But I can't log in Teamier for this because then I'm going straight to hell.
It's like, okay, so you like to play blue and red, and then do you like to win the game or do you like to lose the game? Because if you like to win the game, you add green, and if you like to lose, yeah.
I think for how I currently play Commander, the answer is actually Jund, because all of the blue stuff that I would do is stuff I'm doing to I can't give up VV. Can't give up clone. All right, I'm Grixis. Whatever. Fuck you, green.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck you, green.
I really like Izzet decks. Well, some Izzet decks. I love Spellslinger decks specifically. So I also have a hard time giving up the VV decks, but.
Yes, that's my VV deck.
Our definitions of Spellslinger though are vastly different, which is the key ingredient here. Where you're like, yeah, I love Spellslinger decks, where I draft them and then I play 2 spells most turns, and then I have one thing that deals a damage each time I do that, and then I win the game that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Spellslinger deck where I have VV in the command zone, and then I play 50 spells, and I almost get there. And then I get swung on the next turn and lose.
But I still I'll put VV in the command zone and play 50 spells.
Me too.
Because it pings every time.
Yeah, but you'll play 50 spells over 25 turns.
I mean, I'll play as many as I can. But they are more focused on removal and things like that, less focused on playing with myself.
Right.
Yeah. I play impactful spells.
Anyways, this has been Grind It Out, a podcast by solderers for solderers. I'm the Iron. We'll be back next week.